boys and girls. Game number 2 coming at you here. Vega Squadron versus HunkysFromZavod, also known as HFZ. And HFZ is up 1-0. Honestly, a pretty solid victory from them. Coming out in game number 1. So it's up to Vega Squadron now with their newer team of sorts. Again, a couple of stand-ins, a couple of tryouts currently, we believe, to be the case for them, and see how they can put it together now, being behind 1-0. The StarLadder I-League Invitational Season number 4 CIS Qualifiers. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami again. I have a couple of supports to start things off here. Shadow Shaman into a Winter Wyvern so far. But you look at those bands from Vega Squadron, Medusa and Brewmaster.
It's targeted, for sure. It's respect. It's good to show respect. Never underestimate your opponent. Oftentimes, we like we said in Series 1, you know, like we'll give underdog teams a pass if they go for like a cheese strat, you know, like maybe Empire gets draft stratted or brewed or Huskard or something like that. But game 1 of this series, like
10 seconds
Medusa strats, that's like you need to show up to class to study up against Medusa strats, because if you don't know Medusa strats and you don't know Morphling strats, then you have no place in this patch right now. And so that's just textbook. You need to know how to deal with that stuff, or you can ban it out. That also it's a way to deal with it for sure.
That's one way to deal with it. That takes care of it. So they'll put the ban on her, and now have to think about the next set of bans after they get the Omni Knight themselves. The Bane pickup this time from HFZ. Remember, it was on Vega Squadron's team the last time around. So a Bane and Winter Wyvern supporting cast. I mean, right off the bat there, that feels a little odd to me, frankly, as far as two kind of usually like to play more than position 5, of course. But, I mean, Winter Wyvern, we have seen some funky stuff with this hero. We've seen offlane. We've even seen the Meta Wyvern.
5 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
is that a possibility here, or would you really expect
I doubt it. I only in SEA do I give offlane Wyvern potential, and where did you see mid Wyvern?
God,
I don't know if I've seen that one.
You know, I might be thinking of Ancient Apparition, to be fair, but
oh yeah, that one's a Sumail special.
Yeah, maybe it was that, and I was thinking about,
but yeah, Ice, he runs a mean offlane Wyvern, so that one I've definitely put on my radar, but. You know, I have no issues with it. Like, last game, we saw both teams opting for tri-lane situations, which is something that is seen less and less frequently. But the power of Wyvern and Bane is that they're both extremely good at dual midding as well. So you kind of have this availability that do you want to go for a really greedy one-position pick that you can very solidly defensive tri-lane with? Or do you want just, like, one hero that can go for a 5 position and the other hero can go dual mid?
Remaining.
Yeah.
Radiant team pick.
All right, well, wow. That's another hero that could be a little active earlier on as well. Elder Titan coming out.
Yeah, that's the offlane pick, I'm almost positive.
The ET offlane, yeah. That's fun.
It's mean, especially if you're able to get farm early on and you have a ton of setup potential right now with the rest of your team. Wyvern, you can set up with her Curse. Bane, you can set up with Fiend's Grip and with the Nightmare. So you've got a lot of potential for Earth Splitter and Echo Stomp to do a ton of damage.
All right, so now Vega Squadron. I'm going to think about what they want to do against it. But yeah, Elder Titan, I have seen the occasional offlane ET, and the damage that this hero can put out with the Astral Spirit especially, you know, going through the creeps and everything.
I see a lot of teams like block their own hard camp just so this guy can't soak up a bunch of damage from it. And I'm like, that's how you know a hero is good, when you need to hurt your own resources. It's like cutting off your nose to spite your face, pretty much.
Exactly. Tusk, also known as Tuskar, picked up by Vega Squadron once again. So Aloha play a very comfortable Tusk last game. Losing effort, however. Monkey King, pretty quick response from HFZ. Very active carry, definitely. This definitely feels like a bit of a different strategy. In the last game, we were talking about the greediness that HFZ had, and obviously it ultimately paid off, but they have their core right now, especially Monkey King and the 3 others. This is a team that can be very, very aggressive, move early on, and definitely look to fight. I wouldn't be surprised, so.
Yeah, which is, I hope HFZ rounds it out with, like, this is crazy early game presence from HFZ. And, you know, it's reasonable mid-game as well. I wouldn't call Monkey King a late-game hero, really, but I think HFC should pick a solid late-game one-position mid, which Medusa is typically the go-to. but she is banned, as is the Morphling. I guess Tiny is still in the pool, but Tiny is often played in a mid-game oriented position as well these days. I don't really like him late game that much. So I don't really know what HFZ for go for, but normally whenever you go for like this early game presence, you either go for something that can ensure you in late game, or you go for really aggressive push, which I guess DK is an option, but that's it. It's really like HFZ will have amazing lanes if they go for a DK, but I think they can afford to go for something a little more greedy.
You know, I'm looking at that team on the other side and thinking to myself, Silencer feels like he would be really strong here. I know core Silencer isn't necessarily the most popular thing, but man, would his skill set be very strong this game. But yeah, that's because of the idea that we just don't see him in that role too often. Probably not going to be the case.
I do like it though, but Storm Spirit is going to definitely be irritating with the repel backing him up. So
10
really
seconds
know
remaining.
how your best course of action for that is, because like
5
you don't
seconds
you have,
remaining.
you have BKB
Dire
piercing right
team
now with
pick.
Winter's Curse and Fiend's Grip, which are great, and I imagine another reason why these two heroes were, why I imagine why Bane was picked up, or actually it's the other way around. They picked Omni Knight afterwards, so I don't know. I mean, whatever the case, they have ways to deal with the repel.
Gyrocopter. We saw that here in the first series, of course, but in general,
remaining.
this is a very, very popular core on the scene as of
5
recent. And
seconds remaining.
you got that Omni Knight protection on top of that. A lot of mobility here. They have to work with between Storm and Gyrocopter, both cores. A little bit slippery. Of course, Storm especially with the ball lightning, but Gyrocopter come with the movement speed. The backup of the Omni Knight.
Especially when you got a banish of Tusk Snowball as well on top of that.
Yeah, true. Ways to get out of there. So now HFZ has to think about that mid hero. You figure going to be the final pick, and unless they want to do a Bane mid, I mean that's something we were seeing after those changes came out initially.
It's true. Storm Spirit would hate his life, that's for sure.
Yeah, that would be something. But you really throw a curve right there if they do that. But yeah, more typical. Queen of Pain comes to mind.
Yeah, I was thinking Queen of Pain. Puck wouldn't be bad, especially with a silence potential and more potentials to synergize with the Winter Wyvern Curse with Drinkle and stuff like that. Sniper, I think, would be okay. A lot of times you don't like picking Sniper into Storm Spirit for obvious reasons, and Tusk. But this game, like I said, you can afford to get a little greedy because you have such good
Choose your hero.
defensive heroes. But Shadow Fiend's a good hero as well. It gives good push. It can test Storm Spirit fairly well in lane. Triple Raise is something that Storm Spirit, like normally before this patch, Storm Spirit never needed to be concerned about dying to a Shadow Fiend. But with Triple Raise, Storm Spirit has very, very low movement speed. You just don't feel it because you have Ball Lightning for 80% of the game. But in the laning phase, you will die to a Triple Raise if you're caught out of position. And something like a Nightmare or an Echo Stomp can very quickly make you out of position.
All right, so Shadow Fiend to finish it off. Definitely potential to be a very successful laning phase, especially from HFZ. Possibility of like a tri-lane. I think that's something we could see. I mean, Monkey King, Bane, Winter Wyvern seems like it could be pretty scary if you're the other side at least. So
5 seconds
is there a
remaining.
reason why they would want to do that maybe?
Say the question again.
The tri-lane. If HFZ would want to run the tri-lane themselves.
I think you're better off. But like I said, like all these heroes are so secure themselves that they all have very high kill potential independently, and so no one really needs to be defended on HFZ. You can spend your time, you know, if ET is chipping down his lane enemies, then go to that lane. If Shadow Fiend's making Storm Spirit have a hard time, go to his lane. I can tell you starting off, HFZ are definitely going to prioritize the SF, so you're going to see at least 2 heroes mid for sure for the first minute and a half. After that, I think, in my opinion, HFZ should just spend their time roaming around, possibly even like a dual roaming, even though Wyvern and Bane aren't the most competent dual roaming because they have no stuns. It's still very irritating for Vega Squadron heroes to deal with.
Prepare for battle.
There we go. Game number 2. Again, Vega Squadron down 1-0 here in this best of 3 series single elimination qualifying tournament. So, chance to go to the semifinals on the line. And as we found out earlier today, the winner of this will move on to face Empire in their semifinal matchup. Let's see, setting up to be a good one there. Apparently, they need a couple of minutes before they're going to be good to go. This will be the final series of the day for the CIS region, at least. Tomorrow we come back and we got Gambit Esports versus M19, and then Namiga Gaming versus Team Spirit. Team Spirit really is always a team in the CIS region that I expect, you know, big things from. And in a tournament like this especially, I mean, yes, you got Empire and Vega Squadron as well, you know, some of these other squads, but both of them going through some more recent roster changes, especially Vega. I mean, Spirit seems like a team, if I had to pick a team to win it all and represent the CIS for the StarLadder I-League Invitational, they would be my pick for sure.
Over Empire?
Yeah, I would say so. I really would. And a lot of the qualifiers, I've been watching them, and the qualifier is something I know. I want to say they did at least so far this season.
I think they did, yeah. I don't remember what it was, though.
I'm looking them up now. Galaxy Battles? Yeah. I guess they qualified for Galaxy Battles. That's what it was.
Yeah.
There you go. That is yet to happen, I believe, yeah. All right, back to this, though. We are out of the pause. Resuming now, again, game number 2 of this series. A lot of pings coming out to start. Omni Knight, he's trying to get that top bounty rune. We mentioned last game, and they were able to get 3 bounty runes last game. Now this time,
it's like HFZ. Got a different thing in mind.
Yeah. Maybe that's the plan. They let them get 3 last game, act like they're going to be passive, and game number 2 they come out with a smoke gank attempt. Oh.
Now what's this item on the back of this Monkey King courier? I've never seen it before. That
rip, man. RIP.
I believe there were legends of such an item, but I've never actually known it to exist.
And no one was disappointed.
Well,
Except every offlaner.
Got that. Well, I mean, it was a two-way street. Offlaners were disappointed, but a lot of safe laners were like, how the hell am I supposed to tank out of the tower now? I've seen so many safe laners, like, supports are so used to just, like, constantly pulling every single opportunity they get.
Yeah.
And then all these safe laners are like, why am I taking so much damage into my tower?
Look at Blizzy, man. Not only does he get the room, but... Okay, this might get him killed. He's like, I'm going to pull the damn camp. Yeah, this is going to get him killed. Wyvern will have to take it, but first blood coming out in their favor.
I mean, I don't think he's going to lose any experience from this, though.
True. Should be able to TP back. Yep, he's going to go TP back and try to get their ASAP. So, well, he got the bounty rune at least. Minor victory. He'll take it. Shadow Shaman matched up against Bane here in the middle lane. It's really Shadow Fiend versus Storm Spirit, but the support's, of course, going at it. And we are seeing that enfeeble harassment again. Again, it was in Vega Squadron's hands last game, but HFZ says we can do it too.
Yeah, it's more effective in a situation like this with similar, like even again, I still prefer it in a 2-on-1 situation. But if you're stopping, the most important thing with the Shadow Fiend is you just want to make sure he gets his early souls, which is why Bane should not be taking denies away from the Shadow Fiend like that.
Yeah.
But that's the most important thing. As now, a nice straight up shackle.
Kind of pushing him out. Ush is in a lot of trouble. It won't be the first blow, but it will be a kill for Vega Squadron. G's getting low himself as well. Winter Wyvern's here. They're going to finish off Storm Spirit.
Level 2.
Bane,
he has Brain Sap.
He has the Brain Sap as mentioned. Using it right there on the Slayer. Trying to go for the
don't
turn kill.
block him.
Nope, he gets killed himself, though. And Shadow Fiend a little bit too far for Raises to come into play there, although he's level 1 even, so never mind. All right, back and forth middle lane, and Rasta decides it's best to die to the creeps. Not often you see that nowadays, you know, ever since they changed it a while ago.
Yeah, but Rasta's a super slow hero. He has, well, actually, he has boots. He may have bought that like after he died, but yeah, he has such slow move speed that oftentimes it's not worth just walking all the way back.
Yeah, come back full life, full mana. Be ready to TP somewhere, I'm sure is the game plan.
Probably mid. I think he should go back mid, otherwise Storm Spirit's gonna have struggles. Yeah, and he is.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Gyrocopter leveling up that rocket barrage, sitting on a point currently, but having that for the other Titan. Middle lane.
Move onto the Bane.
Snowball in, hits, the Rasta. Get their shock,
man,
will finish the job. They're stuck in their own shards, but Shadow Fiend can't do enough.
That's still okay. As long as SF's not dying, it's really not that big of a deal.
To Wyvern nearby, but alas, not much he can do currently. But yeah, Gyrocopter essentially having free farm down here on the bottom lane. Obviously, Elder Titan trying his best with the Spirit to harass and help with some last hitting, but now he's even going to be zoned out further from the Tusk. Gyrocopter, expect him to have a very early Mask of Madness here, would be my guess.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. Shaman has to spend a lot of time protecting this Storm Spirit, so he hasn't really gotten a chance to stack Ancients, but there's no rush. As long as you get like a 3 or 4 stack, which, you know, only takes 3 or 4 minutes if you time it properly, then that's way before a Gyrocopter will get his Mask of Madness, and I have a high confidence that they will stack Vega Squadron for this Gyrocopter, at least they better.
Winter Wyvern essentially turning this into a tri-lane middle lane, but they see the Winter Wyvern here, and now Tusk even comes in, so yeah, it really is a 3 versus 3 in the middle. But right now, when it comes to last hits, 12 and 5 Shadow Fiend, 10 and 3 Storm Spirit this time. So Shadow Fiend having the slight edge there, has 18 souls now added up, so he's hitting pretty hard when it comes to his right clicks, especially with the enfeeble harassment from Bane on top of that. Understandable that Storm Spirit's a little bit behind when it comes to his last hitting. Top lane, I assume Monkey King's doing a very good job. Yeah, 22 and 2, but Omni Knight's also not doing too shabby. He's level 5. Getting his levels early on. What do you expect from Omni Knight here as far as his item build goes? Is this very support-heavy kind of game or what?
I don't think so. I think he needs to... You've got Tusk and you've got Shaman. Those are 2 excellent supports. I don't think it's going to be anything like a full-on Radiance, but we don't really see Greaves that often, but I would be okay seeing a Greaves. Maybe even like a Crimson Guard, because there's a lot of physical damage on the side of HFZ. You'll be able to reduce the damage from the Wukong's command, all of Shadow Fiend's damage, all of obviously the direct hits from the Monkey King. So I want to see a defensive item, but I want to see an expensive defensive item.
Shadow Fiend running out of the Storm Spirit. Ooh, collapse happening on a Tusk.
Aloha dance.
Arctic Burn.
He has Snowball.
They know where he's going. Oh, the shards. And he flies over it, though. The burn lasting long enough, but now Wyvern's in the awkward spot. He does not have Cold Embrace either. Homing Missile connects. Another Rocket Barrage in the face. The Enfeeble. The Nightmare even coming out. Stalls a little bit, and actually Winter Wyvern will survive. Wow. Nobody dies there. That's crazy.
That's quite the journey for a Gyrocopter to make.
Yeah.
This is a marked difference from what we saw from Palantimos in Game 1. He's basically gave up a whole wave just to show up to that, but he had his phase boots completed, so I guess it's not as bad as you would expect. And I was just going to take this 2 bounty runes. It was one of them. We'll see if he gets the other.
There you go.
He's not going to bother.
Picks up his own and heads back towards the bottom. So yeah, long trek. Missing out on that free farm a little bit. Meanwhile, Monkey King, though, continues his. Ring of Aquila almost finished himself. And you have the phase boots, of course, good to go on him as well. Bane will destroy the regen rune before anyone else can get it. Go ahead. Oh, top lane.
He was just going to meet his courier and ended up breaking up a potential rotation on him as Slayer and Aloha Dance show up.
I was going to say that. I wonder, of these supports, which one do you kind of have as more of the 4 looking to get farm? And it looks like they're going to do it for Bane, actually, as the early no talisman.
Yeah, I think Bane is a hero that can do more with farm than a Wyvern. A Wyvern, like, the only items you get are items that you put onto your allies. But I think that, like I said, all these heroes are pretty well defensively equipped. And so if you want an item on HFZ, you go for aggressive items. It's different for Vega Squadron. I think you go for defensive items if you're Vega Squadron, but I think Bane is the right call to give farm priority to.
Ooh. Raises coming out. G's having a run. He did get hit by the 2 raises. Stacking the damage. The 3rd raise comes in. And Bane even assists for the kill right there. The triple raise is real, man. Showing that off, and now he's in trouble. Slayer, nice sleep from the other Titan.
He has one more.
Heroes.
Yeah,
the raise
buddy.
connects. Homing Missile will connect on the Shadow Fiend, though, with the call down. And the Ice Shards. Basically a graveyard for him to sit in. So he finally gets killed himself, but he took several
He
with
bought
him.
out. He forced a Gyrocopter rotation.
Yeah.
Shush is perfectly okay with that.
Not too bad. What did he buy? Power Treads.
No, he just finished his treads, yeah.
Okay. And he's building into an early drums. Let's talk about that for a second. I mean, again, Aquila Power Treads. Drums continuing to be a very popular item. on the scene.
Yeah, it's a little bit surprising, but I guess the idea is that in this game specifically, if Shadow Fiend kind of... So one of the things that I'm seeing more and more often is that magic Shadow Fiend oriented build, but you need to keep a target still for a long time to make it useful. And so Storm Spirit's not a hero that will just sit around and get veiled and Yules and all that business, so you can't really go for it on him. Gyrocopter, as we all know, is very, very mobile, like we mentioned in the previous series, and you got Omni Knight to repel to just shut all of that down. So magic stuff isn't really a potential this game. And then your alternatives is stuff like Pike, which I would be okay seeing a Pike this game on Shadow Fiend, but Drum is fine too, in that it'll just tank you up, and Storm Spirit can't really get easy initiation as they spot out Monkey King, but he just leaps off and gets all the way to safety.
A little too quick. And speaking of early item progression, Echo Saber going to be the choice here.
Dire's top tower
Or
is
Echo
under
Saber and
attack.
no points in Wukong's command, so I don't think they're going to be able to defend this tier 1 up top.
Alright, Chu. Bane soaking up experience, meanwhile, middle lane. Shadow Fiend was busy grabbing a rune of sorts. Bottom lane, homing missiles out. But Titan, a little bit too fast. Has those phase boots now himself.
Dire's
Falling
top
back. So yeah,
tower
they're
is under
not going to
attack.
defend it, it looks like. They're pretty content on just giving this up here. At the top lane.
It's a slow
Rasta
push,
working on
though.
it, but-
Yeah, but no wards up, so that, like, it's kind of questionable to give up a tier 1 tower when there are no carries around and you're not even having to deal with level 6 Rasta. Especially because they're not really getting much else done on the map
Dire's top tower is
elsewhere.
under attack.
Like 3 heroes are waiting for this
Radiant's
Gyro Cup to get
middle
slightly out of
tower
position.
is under
Now they're
attack.
going top.
Oh, now they want to defend Wukong's command. They say, you know what, we can still take a fight. Elder Titan, the sleep is going to miss the Ryu. Did a good job right there avoiding with a snowball. You do see the Earth Splitter coming out. Actually helping to get the kill onto Tusk,
Radiant's
as they
middle
got Rasta
tower is
before
under
that. So
attack.
they ultimately do defend it. Just wanted to wait a little bit longer. It is in deny range now.
Dire's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
I guess that
attack.
works out. Shadowfiend was farming the entire time, so he was getting some stuff done, so it's not that bad that Gyrocopter was going uncontested for like a good minute and a half or so, but
Yeah.
they defend it. The
Dire's
thing is
bottom
that, like,
tower
are you
is
going to
under
deny it
attack.
now, or you want to defend it again? Because Omni Knight's not done yet. He wants to finish his food.
Yeah, he's pretty hungry still. Wants that dessert. Winter Wyvern nearby. You're just using this cold embrace to tank right there and heal
Man,
up
he
a little
actually
bit.
pulled also. What the hell?
He's like, here, have a free tower kill. Yeah, that was an
This is so
awkward
weird.
decision. And now Elder Titan has to be careful because yeah, I mean they could just run at him and he gets the tower kill for the
Dire's
team
top
at least.
tower has fallen.
Yeah, that was
He's
very
going
oddly
in.
played.
Dude, this man is so fast.
Running at them, man. Not gonna be enough though. Eventually falls back.
Yeah, and he's going for a drum of his own on this offlane.
Aloha wants a kill, damn it. Snowball in, purification. There you go. Pops a cold embrace. Has support nearby from Elder Titan. Echo Stomp going up. Hits the Omni Knight at least, keeping nearby for the aura of the D-Gen, but it's not going to be enough for the kill though. Meanwhile, elsewhere, that
Meanwhile,
was
mid
middle lane.
Radiant's middle tower
They do lose
has
its middle
fallen.
tower though. Dire actually got credit there.
Yeah, Siege Group takes it down at the last second. So again, Shadowfiend's content with how the game is progressing right now. He's only died once or twice, but those were all with relatively inconsequential kills. And nice progressing just fine. And still, like, yet again, one of the biggest issues is that all these Vega Squadron supports are so busy doing other stuff that there have been no ancient stacks whatsoever for this Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. For the time being, despite having that Mask of Madness finish, that's usually really most of these cores that you like to have that. But for now, just going to continue to push out the bottom lane. Shadowfiend, meanwhile, farming his own jungle and does have those drums finish as we talked about. Speaking of that, Omni Knight gets one of his own.
Got it.
As he
Dire's
just
middle
makes
tower
that
is
purchase.
under
So
attack.
Rasta's going to TP to the bottom lane. Does he have wards yet? Yes, he does. So the Serpent wards are
Dire
online,
are
ready to
scanning.
go. Or Rasta, as he's going to be scanned out actually, but Bane stole the bounty rune.
Yeah, I think Bane scanned just to confirm that he could get that bounty rune.
Yeah. Pretty greedy scan there. But works
Dire's
out,
bottom
stays
tower
alive.
is under attack.
Well, wards are just straight up
Dire's
plopped down,
structures are
and
fortified.
they're not even, like, helping them.
All right, get a response, I guess. That's what they're going for. Fortification already used. Well, ward doing more damage, but it is getting that response. They're moving over. Elder Titan stops
Dire's
the
bottom
creep wave
tower
at
is
least.
under attack.
I don't know why Bane is just, like, kind of standing around all randomly.
running it
Well,
now.
now he plays the ward. He spots him out.
Dire's bottom
Gets
tower
Bounce command,
is
not really gonna hit, unfortunately. Slayer was locking him down, has a repel put up on himself, so he may die. Fiend's Grip is hitting Omni Knight, by the way. And on top of the air, Splitter, yes, it connects, and down goes Omni. So, who are you to question? He had it all.
This is so weird. Like, HFC is winning all these fights, but they're winning them like 30 seconds later than they need to happen. Like, nothing changed before their tier 2 tower went down and them winning that fight. Like, it was the exact same situation. Wards have already been planted down, but, I mean, they win fights and they lose the tower regardless. So it's very... It seems unnecessary, but, I mean, they're getting the kills, I guess.
Yeah, that's I definitely see what you're saying there. But ultimately, as you pointed out, they get the kills. So it works out for them. Shadow Fiend, by the way, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer for the Ogre Club to be happening here, as the Courier was destroyed. So working towards that BKB, though, at this point. Or Ogre Axe, excuse me. As Monkey King will reconnect now after the quick DC. But, yeah, so remember last game, we had a similar situation, although maybe not as impactful, but that Phantom Lancer, his Shadow Blade was killed in the Courier, and yeah, those couple of minutes that they were without, and ultimately, you know, we're still able to overcome it, but now Shadow Fiend is having to deal with that a little bit. Granted, it's not a full item.
Your shields.
Yeah,
your
true.
shields make all the difference.
Very true.
Dire's middle
On top
tower
of that,
is
Storm
under
Spirit
attack.
currently has an Arcane Rune bottled up, by the way, and his Kaya's finished, being delivered here. Haven't talked too much about G this game, but that's starting to maybe pay attention to him a little bit.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah, especially
tower
if
is under
Bane
attack.
keeps using Fiend's Grip elsewhere, which right now it makes sense to use Fiend's Grip in these rotation situations, but as the game goes later, he's going to pretty much need to exclusively use it on Storm Spirit.
There you go, Kaya's delivered. Finish now. Elder Titan. Drums is the name of the game, man. We're in the drums meta nowadays.
Phase boots drum. It's all a man really needs.
A run at you build. Yeah, I'm not complaining. Slayer, ooh, he cannot avoid it. That Echo Stomp radius, man. It is freaking large.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And I don't know
Okay.
about that. Huh.
A little bit unnecessary, but
Yeah.
alright.
Seems a little odd. Alright, well, they don't get the
Dire's
kill.
top tower is under attack.
No, and now G has like very little to be concerned about. One of the biggest things is the Storm Spirit is like, so the Winter's Curse range is huge, and so you can get caught out from a curse from miles away and you won't even know. And then after that, you buy Bane plenty of time to come in for the Fiend's Grip. And so it's a 1-2 punch that, like I said, Bane is going to need to pretty much exclusively use Fiend's Grip onto the Storm Spirit, but he's not going to get convenient setup unless Winter Wyvern's able to pull off the curse first.
Oh, apparently Monkey King having a little bit unstable internet here, but back once again. Good to go. Gonna fix this for his sake and his team's sake. Echo Saber. Finished on him, though, so again, we're seeing a lot of these
Radiant's
items
bottom tower
happening
is under
here,
attack.
being built for either side and kind of the first tier items. As we're about 15 minutes into this game now, top lane, Aloha Dance pinging it out, but unfortunately he's getting a little too up front.
Dire's middle tower
And now he's
is
going to be
under
nightmared
attack.
up. The ice shards, the snowball, just doing everything he can to get away. Not going to work.
Radiant's bottom
Nice splinter
tower
blast
is
there
under
as well
attack.
from Tot.
Yeah, nice
Wyvern.
raise by Ush being able to land that.
Dire's
They're
structures
going to lose
are
mid-tier 1, though.
fortified.
Maybe denied.
Radiant's bottom tower
They can
is
fight
under
this,
No,
attack.
actually.
it's all good. As we all know, they will come back
Dire's
after
middle
losing the
tower
tower
has
and then
fallen.
win the fight.
Exactly where they want them. Yeah,
Not
the
this time, though.
repel makes it difficult, however.
Yeah.
So it'll be fine. And they do get the middle tower indeed. Bottom lane.
Radiant's
Oh, man,
bottom
he used
tower
Balance Strike
is
to
under
farm.
attack.
Did he really? Okay, well, he's going to pop the Wukong's command right here. Go for the turn. Kill the Guardian Imps
No,
and
it doesn't
not
catch
hit
Tusk.
the Ryu. Oh, no. That's unfortunate. That's the worst feeling
Oh, he has-
ever as an Omni Knight.
3 seconds on Primal.
1 second. He's
Oh,
good.
he's gonna get it.
He's actually going to get away.
Wow.
You thought for sure he's going down with him, but nope. He
Yeah.
even escapes.
Man, I can't believe that Guardian Angel didn't catch. It must have been just like 50 units away.
Yeah. I've had that happen myself. It's the worst, especially as an Omni Knight, where like, you know, a lot of your skill set's about saving your teammates. You're like, oh, big play's coming. That you press R and you're like, wait, I don't see wings on him. What's going on?
And that's immediately whenever you put Aghanim Scepter in your quick buy, you're like, never again.
Never do this again, Ice Frog. Damn short radius. All right, Bloodstone in the works for G. That's of course the next item. Still a ways off though. On the Storm, we really haven't seen Storm Spirit too active. I mean, he's 1, 2, and 4, 5 kills, which has actually been involved in all 5 kills for the team. But at 17 minutes almost, it feels like that's, you know, maybe could be more. Are you fine with him just farming so much here?
I'm fine with it because HFZ are playing in a way that doesn't give Storm Spirit any
Radiant's top
openings. Like,
tower has
I've
fallen.
seen very few heroes of HFZ standing by themselves. They're always walking in pairs. Pretty much the only hero that's solo is the Monkey King. And so far, the Storm Spirit does not really have the mana regen to just ball in from miles and miles away to take a Monkey King by surprise. I would have liked to see him show up bot to get that kill because he would have been able to find that Monkey King easily through the
Radiant's
Primal
bottom
Spring
tower
and
is under
Tree
attack.
Dance, but G was off doing something else, and now they're going to lose tier 1 bot.
Oh, but they're going to lose Shadow Fiend on the dire side.
Has fallen.
He gets found in the jungle, actually. He has Hurricane Pike, but unable to use that, obviously, at that point. Interesting, by the way. Mentioned earlier he was going the BKB, but I guess he did change his mind, just
Dire's
decided to go the
top
full
tower
Hurricane
is
Pike
under
first.
attack.
Not that the BKB would have saved him there necessarily, but just an observation at least. And this is going to transition into the tier 2 top tower as well.
Dire's top tower
HFZ was
has
trying to
fallen.
match it, but with the Shadow Fiend
Radiant's
dead, it's a little bit
bottom
risky,
tower is
and
under attack.
Monkey King's going to jump out, and G's making his way, and getting that Shadow Fiend kill was quite a bit, especially since he got the kill himself. He didn't get that much gold, it was only 263, and man, they may be able to find the Storm Spirit. That would be fantastic.
That's an easy kill. Yeah, Fiend's Grip
an
is
easy kill.
plenty of time for the Monkey King to get that Jingu stacks added up in a balanced strike. So very good patience there, hiding in the trees.
Yeah.
2 of them.
It's not easy for Bane to get down there because he doesn't even have his tier 1 bot, so that was premeditated that he was just walking down there for what had to have been like 30 to 45 seconds.
Yeah. Blizzy here on the Omni Knight, he's feeling like gonna need an item like a Hand of Midas to really give them more of that late game potential. And do you like the Midas choice? Maybe even like, dare I say something like a Radiance? I know we see from time to time, and do they need more damage that way?
Yeah, I mean, again, I still feel like you need to get a defensive item. As long as he turns this Midas into something defensive, like even a Glimmer Cape would be fine. I don't know. I don't want him to go aggressive. I don't think he needs to build anything like a Radiance. That's not his job this game. You don't pick Omni Knight and the Storm Spirit for the Omni Knight to become a damage dealer. You pick him so that Storm can become an empowered damage dealer with all the buffs that you're giving him.
Very interesting. I mean, Tusk rushes into a Spirit Vessel. He has it finished now, so great item. Yeah, I guess here like Winter Wyvern. When Cold Embrace is not going to be as powerful now. Ideally, you'll use it on that target, and thus the regen
Radiant
much
are
less.
scanning.
Yeah, I guess Monkey King as well. Gonna lifesteal last off of a 4-stack Jingu.
Oh, they're going in. Requiem's ready. Just 4 stabs in aggressively there, though. So Storm Spirit are going to respond. Winter's Curse on a Shadow Shaman on the backlines. No damage coming out. Nightmare on himself from Bane. Stays alive for the time being. Here comes Year Splitter, though, but there goes the Guardian Angel in response. And now Monkey King just beating it, and it really seems nothing as a result. So far, Bane is the only one dead. A Raze finally will take out the other support, so an eye for an eye. And somehow that's all that will be happening. 1 for 1 after all
Radiant's
of that.
middle tower is under
Oh, we're not done
attack.
just yet, though. G wants to go back in. They
Oh,
find Monkey King pushed up a little bit too
Whoa.
far, and that's probably why. Yeah, it seemed like he was running up there pretty aggressively. You can't blame them. DC's again.
Well, that man's dead. He has a Spirit Vessel on him also, so like I said, he has 4 Jingu stacks, which he was beating into that Shadow Shaman with no damage because he wanted to get the maxed out Jingu. He has Boundless, but I don't know if it's going to save him. Especially because Snowball's about to connect into him as well.
Yeah, this is one of those.
SF has all 3 raises, so maybe that could be something.
Yeah, no Requiem, though. No Cold Embrace. Elder Titans out of everything. Echo's jumping to 5. It's just, he's just fall back, I would think. Yeah. Try to run, TP. Oh, that was a little close, but the rest do get out. And that will be the end of that. So, Monkey King, a little unfortunate, but still overall, maybe not the worst thing ever. Although Storm Spirit is now a little bit closer to that Bloodstone now. G's picking up some more bounty runes.
Yeah, I'm fine with the way that G's been playing this. It's not an aggressive Storm, but I think that's the right call. I don't think you should just relentlessly pigeonhole a hero like that to be like, oh, well, I'm a Storm Spirit. I have to be getting kills all the time or I'm not doing my job. I think he's been making the right moves, playing it safe. Oh, man.
Jeez. That's another DC. Yeah, it's like, what do you do here? I don't know if, obviously we don't know exactly what the issue is, but clearly something's up now.
Yep. It sucks. It's a minor qualifier. It's an elimination game.
Yeah, and on top of that,
Oh wait, no, it's not.
Well,
it's
for
not
them, they're the ones that are up 1-0 actually.
It's a win, potential win game.
Yeah, I'm sure emotions are high after that first victory, especially as well. But now you're dealing with this. Got to be a little frustrating, and it's things like this that, even though this game is very even right now, definitely could still go either way. Absolutely. You know, your mental state of being frustrated, constantly DCing, and I'm sure is not the most fun thing. So. If there's something else he could do to maybe just even restart the router. Again, we don't even know what the issue is, but hopefully it gets figured out moving forward here. But they're trying to do Roshan, by the way, as this pause hits. And
yeah, ET scouted it out, but Monkey King's dead for another 15 seconds, and they have the roster wards in the pit already, so I don't really know if you're willing to go for a counter initiation, especially because Bane's like a long ways away. You could TP the heroes in, but there's so much initiation power from Vega Squadron right now.
It's time to take a little bit longer to come back. So again, perhaps trying something else to figure that out. Again, guys, this is day number 1 of the CIS qualifiers. You got, like I said, we're going to continue into tomorrow with our matchups: Gambit Esports versus M19, and then Namiga Gaming, the other open qualifier team. They'll take on Team Spirit. And as we were talking about them earlier, it's single elimination. We already have Empire defeating the Brestomons earlier on in a 2-1 series there. And it looks like we are good to resume once again, for now at least. So, oh boy, may catch Winter Wyvern. Good embrace, he has it, but not even going to try to use it.
Yeah, it's Spirit Vessel on him.
Buys
It's a
back
buyback.
immediately, though.
Yeah, Monkey King. Oh, nice dodge on the Echo Stomp with the snowball. Those Roche is slow. That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the roster awards are down. They're just jumping in as if they're still in there, but Vega is obviously already fallen back, as we can see. Storm, he's going in. Oh, Fiend's Grip. Uh-oh, he's in trouble. G's dead. That was a mistake. He was very ballsy right there. The backup was not nearly close enough. Shadow Shaman's now dead as well. And they could steal Roshan. A buyback is ready on Storm, but yeah, that was a wow. He kind of forgot they had a Bane, I think.
That has to be the only possibility, because that was not a maneuver you make before you have something like a Lincoln Sphere, and hell, even like a BKB on top of that. But and then give up Roche. Maybe it's fair play. Mariachi has been having a lot of disconnects. And you're like, you would have probably killed me at some point. You can have it now.
Yeah, I'm just
I'll
gonna throw myself at you. Yeah, we'll call it good guy G. Yeah.
I don't have my Bloodstone yet. It's cool. You can kill me.
I'm sure that was the case. Uh-oh. The Ryu, that's not going to work.
Strike.
Boundless Strike, pretty good stun. And Tusk killed as well. So, man, if you're this Dire side, that's got to feel pretty good. I mean, net worth overall still suggests it's barely a lead for the Radiant team. But Shadow Fiend's now even topping the charts. Monkey King obviously doing plenty. Shadow Fiend almost has that BKB now finished. And you look at this Radiant lineup, I mean, BKB is going to be a fantastic item to have this game. So,
yeah.
And Monkey King has his on, as we saw, 9 seconds remaining on his still.
And going for a Desolator next, so that minus armor plus the presence of the Dark Lord on the Shadow Fiend means that whatever physical damage they're able to get out, it's going to hurt like hell, especially because, as we all know, the go-to build on gyrocopters and most carries these days is Mask of Madness, but downside is you're losing 7 armor whenever you activate that Mask of Madness, so you need to be very, very careful. If you get hit by a Boundless Strike, you may lose like half your HP.
That is very, very true. 3,200 gold saved up on the gyrocopter. So that Butterfly, he would like to have that, ideally before another fight does break out. That evasion will be nice. Forest Staff also picked up by Omni Knight, so he really is. He is committing to the support, and you know what? We joked about it earlier.
Put that Aghanim Scepter in the quick buy.
He's got the Ags in mind.
No, I'm fine with this. Like I suggested Crimson Guard because I didn't think that he would be able to, I guess, transition easily into a Scepter. And plus, I don't really like Scepter Guardian Angel that much. you it still has a 160-second cooldown, and that's a super long cooldown because like it won't get better as the game progresses. In late game situations, 160 seconds is oftentimes too much, whereas a Crimson Guard, you can kind of like alternate. You ult for one fight, you Crimson for another fight, or something like that. But
Yeah.
at the minimum, it gives you fantastic positioning capabilities, and it obviously increases the duration of the Guardian Angel as well. So he can be far away from the fight, and then GA a Storm Spirit who's going to be diving in deep into the fight.
I think that's like a bit what you touched on at the end there, especially having a hero like Storm Spirit as a teammate. He might not be the closest to you. You can't really get close to him necessarily to make sure to get that off on him. So, yeah, this way it does. Understandable. It's the direction at least he wants to go. He still has a ways to go before he's there, but he's heading towards it. Bloodstone finally finished on Storm Spirit. Good news is he does have 14 charges now as a result of just getting it. We'll see if he can add to those charges as Winter Wyvern's scouting around here in the middle lane. Information for the team. Going to be spotted. Comes out with a Splinter Blast. Oh, that was actually Winter's Curse. On top of the Arctic Burn, the Splinter Blast coming out. Slayer's getting low. Tusk held in place. Call down. Very defensive.
Call down.
I'll keep them off, actually.
Yeah, it's fine. It was basically just stalling to guarantee that no one would defend the tier 2 bot, and now they get a clean tier 2 push mid. They're trying to make as much happen with this Aegis, so they're doing a pretty good job. And there's no tier 2 top for Vega Squadron to take, so all they can do is hope to pressure into the tier 3, but they can't go for tier 3 quite yet. At least I'm pretty sure they can't.
Well, they're still pushing it in somewhat. As if they possibly could. Bane is invis with the Glimmer Cape. He's running in. Oh, that's pretty far. Okay, zip zapping around. Gonna be CC'd. He gets a ball lighting off right before the Balance Strike, but yeah, did hit Rasta. And they're gonna kill the wards pretty easily here as well. So kind of a funky initiation. I mean, Bane all of a sudden shows up. Like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, ideally he was hoping to land that Boundless Strike on the Storm Spirit, but G at the last second was able to ball lightning away and only pick off the Storm Spirit. I mean, only pick off the Rasta, which it would have been fantastic if you could have killed the Storm Spirit right after he picked up this Bloodstone, but he gets out.
Well, the
doesn't really get that much damage on the tier 3, but yeah.
The fact that they get the response from the dire side, especially with the Aegis on Shadow Fiend, is kind of a win in itself for Vega Squadron. Really.
Double damage.
That's true, but HFZ is reacting perfectly. They're going right back to where they started, immediately down back to mid, and SF is pushing out top, and he doesn't have anything to be concerned about because he's still got. Actually, Aegis is about to time out like any second now. About like 20 seconds.
Double damage though on Monkey King. Just got it with that Deso and the Echo Saber. That's a pretty scary target if you're this Radiant team fighting into it. So you gotta pick and choose very carefully here. Blink Dagger just purchased by Tusk.
Radiant's
Bit more mobility now to work with, and he's gonna at least assist Storm Spirit at the bottom lane in case anyone looks to jump him. Just hanging out nearby, but that top tier 2 being pushed in pretty easily from HFZ, and they're just really making sure to get all the outer objectives. So they're not going to be pushing tier 3, and that Aegis has worn off. Wait for their next set of items before they fully go for that. Maybe another Roshan.
Exactly. They got a lot done with that Aegis. They were able to successfully defend that tier 3, but you see that in the end they still got everything that they wanted within the span of one Aegis.
Storm Spirit TPing out. He's good. As is Tusk, so they both able to make sure to get out of there. But Monkey King and MKB is even queued up next. He's really going to have that damage now once he's able to finish that.
He sees the Eagle Song and Gyrocopter's inventory, and he knows that he's going to just go straight for the True Strike, or not True Strike anymore, but accuracy.
Close enough. That's the idea still.
70%. See, you tell me something, like, his Balanced Strike still has True Strike, right? But it's the Monkey King bar. You know, shouldn't it only have 70% accuracy on Balanced Strike now?
Shit.
It's only fitting.
That's getting way too lore heavy here. That's
Malore.
That's not going to happen ever. Unless they hire Sir Action Slacks. So that's the change that he would make.
Radiant are scanning.
Well, they scan somebody in the area. That's, as we see, Shadow Fiend. Shadow Fiend's a little indecisive as far as what oh, they do see me. Yeah, they're going in, aren't they? Wukong's command in response. Oh, Bane's gonna survive. And Jade's in trouble here. Splitting the Fiend's grip. He goes down. The sleep on Omni Knight in the backlines, meanwhile. That's a big sleep, actually. Taking him out of the fight. The Requiem going off in the midst of a couple of heroes. Rasta, one of those. He eventually will fall. Tusk is able to go. Well, the Walrus Punch something right there.
Courier.
Okay. He kills the courier, so minor victory, I guess, if you're Vega Squadron.
Battle strike in 1 second.
Oh no, Palatino
Whoa,
sets
just
up
the
the Echo
tippy
Stop.
tip.
Oh, that was beautiful execution.
Everyone, come on down. Evade, evade, evade.
Whack, whack, whack. He
Done.
is dead. Great fight from HFZ right there. Yeah, that's... I mean, the fact that Bane lived, got the Glimmer Cape off, and then he turned around even Fiend's Grip to finish off the Gyro, or not the Gyro, but the Storm.
Storm
and then he
Spirit,
slept the Omni Knight right after, preventing a GA, or a good GA for that matter, in the fight there. So that's the biggest lead, I would assume, net worth-wise. Yeah, dipping down there now.
And G
4,000.
recognizes the problem now. He's going for Lincoln Sphere right after this Bloodstone's completed, which he needs it. Like, oftentimes in these situations you need a BKB, but BKB is not going to help against Fiend's Grip. You need the Lincoln Sphere to prevent it. And since Bane's cast animations are so long, he can't really easily, reliably, like, get a Brain Sap or a Nightmare to pop the Lincolns and then do a Fiend's Grip. So more often than not, just the Lincolns is enough to protect you against the Bane's initiation, or counter initiation, rather.
It's funny you mention that, because Monkey King is actually, I saw him literally change his mind in his inventory. He purchases the Ultimate Orb, and he's going his own Lincolns instead right here.
That's kind of surprising. I guess he maybe, well, actually, I don't know. That's weird, because there is nothing BKB piercing besides Walrus Punch, and I don't think you need to be concerned about Walrus Punch.
Yeah, you are right, aren't you? That's, just wants to make sure he's able to get offset abilities in the midst of a fight, as far as they're engaging, or get off the BKB especially, I guess. It'll help with the reaction timing right there. Yeah, no, it does seem odd though.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I can make some half-hearted justifications for it, but I don't really think it's necessary. And if anyone should be building it, I think it should be one of his supports. He himself does not need the Lincolns, in my opinion, but he completes it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe to throw it on somebody else, but again, it goes back to it's just not really a game where anything's standing out necessarily.
And Gyrocopter's still evading like crazy. I just saw Shadow Fiend miss like 3 attacks on this on this Gyrocopter. It's only 35% evasion, but I don't really know why you would need a Lincoln Sphere over an MKB.
Oh,
the only thing is if someone was going for like a nullifier. If like Storm Spirit had a nullifier, then actually no, then even that wouldn't work. Well, actually yeah. So if Storm Spirit was going for a nullifier, then maybe you get the Lincolns. But I don't really think it's necessary if you already have a BKB.
He is going an Orchid, so in that sense it would help. But
yeah, but I mean you can still BKB off the
exactly.
Orchid, so.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, the value seems a little lost. But
SF's kind of out of position up here. Storm Spirit could go for a hell of a leap. Oh, he's getting some Shrine regen?
Well, maybe not.
He has BKB. Is he going to use it?
I just piked the...
Wow, nice.
He couldn't even kill it. That's unfortunate. But yeah, it took a little bit too long for that, and now the Radiant team realizing we got to fall back. As now Monkey's here. Oh, no.
Boundless Strike. Oh, he has like no vision. Actually, wait, he has this ward.
He saw him for sure. He just chose not to.
Yeah.
His team was a little bit too far behind. He didn't want to just go YOLO right there, so didn't want to. Never mind. Monkey King. He's level 22 or 21, obviously. So level 20, 50% Boundless Strike crit. And he has now, so even more damage from set ability. And Shadow Fiend, of course, goes to 20%
Nightmare,
evasion.
mid lane. Sleep now, my child.
Well, we got the sheep off at least. Delays it a little bit.
He's gonna get this structure.
They fortified it.
Oh, they're going.
Kill the wards
Can you get the
quickly.
deny? Nice.
Dire's middle tower has been
Yeah, unfortunately the wards cannot take off a Nightmare. Otherwise that would have been the play if he was able to transfer it to one of his Serpent wards.
Oh yeah, that would be sick. Not the case. How this Winter Wyvern has a Blink Dagger as the position 5 Wyvern. Not too shabby. 33 minutes into the game. Nice item for positioning purposes. Get off a big curse. Even a cold embrace save if need be. G bottom lane. He's got a double damage rune. He's not killing Shadow Fiend by himself though.
If anything, I think the Blink Dagger isn't so much for a big curse, but rather a curse to make sure that Storm Spirit is immediately acted upon. Like he'll ball lightning in, and then Kant, which is apparently how you pronounce that name, will react instantly with a Blink Winter's Curse.
So Shadow Fiend went the AC first, and now he's has the intentions of going the MKB. To be picked up here. What does Elder Titan have now? Okay, yeah, he finished the Heaven's Halberd. So full-on support, kind of aura heavy from the Elder Titan. Not really surprised there. Also level 4 Natural Order. We really haven't touched too much on that, but obviously something that you have to take into consideration throughout these fights as well. And the idea that the Spirit is now for the magic resistance, but he himself, as long as he's nearby, all that physical armor.
Yeah, and so whoever gets cursed, if they're cursed next to their team, he can just stand in the middle of that curse and just completely drop the armor of whoever's getting attacked by the teammates.
Ooh, smoke.
I don't know if he knows that he just got some contact on that Spirit. Maybe not.
He got damage. So the way he positioned, I think I might have. Wukong's command is actually going to stop right there initially. Remember, Cape onto the Elder Titan. The Fiend's Grip locking down. I believe that's the Gyrocopter, the Requiem, right on top, and they're just melting as a team. The wombo combo of sorts in multiple places. The Earth Splitter doing so much damage there with the Wukongs on top. Oh man, HFZ, they are playing really so well this series.
That was a dream team fight. You got the curse off on 3 targets. Omni Knight was pulled into it, so he can't get off any of his spells whatsoever. No GA, and then like I said, ET walks in with that armor reduction aura stance. Oh wow, Stormsword's going in.
He's just trying to make some kind of play in the meantime.
He's running out of mana.
He is running out of, you're right, and they know that. Doesn't have Fiend's Grip. He can get a sleep off though. That would be fun. I don't think it's fun. Enfeeble sleep, just out of range. Not happening. But yeah, they get the Roshan killed. I mean, no buybacks on 3 heroes. Granted, Rasta and Tusk are just about up.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Pressure tier 3 now. They have Cheese on Monkey King, Aegis on Shadow Fiend, who just finished his MKB, by the way. This should be easy tier 3 and possible Rex.
I think you get this Rex. Save the BKB for your second life. It'll be up in 3 seconds for the Shadow Fiend.
Shadow Fiend, or currently G does not have a buyback. Actually, he's very close to it, but
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
He needs to be careful at dying here. They do kill the Rex, and they will fall back. They still have the Aegis even. On top of that,
that's actually pretty big because this Aegis is super fresh. They just picked it up. And so they can go for another tier 3 if they want, but both the top and bot are pushed out heavily, so they could just go for a fake back, which is looking to be the case. Yeah, kind of obvious though, because Shadow Fiend just got randomly salved up, and so he doesn't carry his own salve, someone else did it, and so his team's obviously behind him.
So Shadow Fiend is the first hit level 25, so he really steroids now. The +3 damage per soul talent has been picked up. You see, he is hitting really hard. Again, with that recent MKB on top of that. So nice to see for them there. And Monkey King, almost level 25 as well. We'll see. I don't know. What is a typical Monkey King level 25 nowadays? We don't really see a lot of this hero anymore. A recent patch. 100 armor sounds good.
So, yeah, a lot of people were very skeptical about, like, oh, I put out the Wukong's Command extra ring, but, like, the ring doesn't have that many soldiers in between it, and so, like, what's the point? But the idea is that you just get your armor aura and you get more area to play around in. So there's, like, basically the entire size of a screen a Monkey King ult can fill, and so you never need to worry about, you know, leaving your circle at any point. And the armor is nice, and he will probably go for it as now leap in onto the Bane. Don't tell me he gets a Glimmer Cape again.
We've seen what happened before, and it's going to be the same story. It almost feels like Gino, he'll survive. Guardian Angel coming out. Mariachi puts on the Wukong's Command. The Fiend's Grip locking out Gyrocopter. The Requiem on top of the Earth Splitter. The Snowball trying to save. Will save some damage, but now the Winter's Curse on Gyro. Finally, Monkey King goes down, actually. So the Radiant team having a bit of a fight right here, doing somehow well, but no, it's finally going to go in favor of the Dire team. G going back in, but Shadow Fiend is just right-clicking everybody. He picks up the Ultra Kill throughout all of that. That honestly went better for Vega Squadron than it was looking like it was going to be.
Yeah, that curse gave a lot of time for Storm to regen and stuff like that. Look at this fight recap. 5,000 damage dealt by this Shadow Fiend, and he's just single target. The Gyrocopter did even less than that. He's got Call Down, he's got Flat Cannon. That's an insane amount of damage for a Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. God, that's one of those I wish we had like a slow motion replay too, because I believe Tusk actually might have saved Gyrocopter initially and made it take that much longer to kill them with a snowball when the Earth Splitter was coming out.
Right, I
just
think that
about
is what
finish them.
happened.
So, good timing by him there, but in the long run, not enough. Despite them killing the Monkey King and the Elder Titan. Monkey King actually has a cheese in his backpack, by the way. Not able to make use of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, he had his BKB out. I'm surprised that after activating the BKB, he didn't try to swap him out, but, it's a high-pressure situation.
Understandable. But yeah, we saw the power of Shadow Fiend there. And
he's just casually keeping a Daedalus in his backpack for once this Aegis times out.
By the way,
so you're like, we killed him once, we can do it again. Where's all this extra damage coming from?
Anyone shot me, yeah. Just pick up that regen rune, get that mana back. Monkey King's back up. And everything's actually back up, all the green dots coming back here. That's the ultimates. So yeah, I mean, we did see the Guardian Angel, the Axe coming into play there. Hitting everyone, of course, having the Axe finished in that fight, and the duration a little bit longer. But still, not enough for the turn. G, 6 charges now on that Bloodstone. Unfortunately, going the other direction, although he does have a gem now, which Slayer purchased, his teammate.
Radiant's bottom shrine is
Trying to be
under
a
attack.
comeback mechanic there of sorts, get some vision on the map. Take away the other vision, I guess.
Yeah, the only way they get back into this game is with picks. Or
Radiant's
if you get like a
bottom
crazy
shrine
tier
has
3 push, but I don't know, Rasta does not have an Aghanim Scepter, so he's not going to be able to do anything too dramatic.
Illusion.
And there's the Aegis. Lose an Aegis, pick up a
Dyer's top
Daedalus.
tower is under attack.
If I'm Vega
Seems like a
Squadron,
fair trade.
yeah, if I'm Vega, I'm like, you know what, have your Aegis back. Get rid of that Daedalus. We'll let you have the second life.
This'll come in handy.
He's hitting even harder now. Expect to see some big red numbers popping up in the midst of these fights. Gyrocopter, haven't looked at him in a bit. 3,200 gold saved up. He has an AC, a butterfly. Gyrocopter's actually progressed very nicely. Haven't been paying too much attention to that, but I mean, what is he going to? Obviously, Ring of Aquila can replace that still. A Satanic, maybe.
He can break off the Sanjin Yasha into a Manta style if he wants. Or maybe even a Halberd. Like, honestly, if you're able to disarm this Shadow Fiend, that would be pretty fantastic.
Radiant's top shrine is under
It's unlikely, but yeah, Gyrocopter just has not been able to do very much. The enemy team is just so tanky. Like, even their supports, Bane has 1.7k HP, Wyvern has 1.8k HP. You compare that to the Radiant supports, and Slayer on this roster has like 1.5k HP. He does have a Medallion, though, which helps out somewhat, but like, with all the minus armor of the Desolator on the Monkey King, and like I said, the presence of the Dark Lord, and all that's assuming that the Elder Titan isn't just standing right next to you and reducing all of your armor anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and AC finished for SF, I forgot that. So that is so much minus armor if you're team fighting.
Yeah, it's being close to these guys. Not ideal. Not ideal for the Radiant team. But how do you kill them?
Cancel Blink Dagger on Aloha Dance, but he gets out nice cliff.
Yeah, that was well placed. I don't know. I'm not a Tusk player. I don't know if that's easier or not necessarily too, but looked impressive.
It's not easy, especially that's like one of the quickest I've ever seen. Like basically the idea is you have to turn your hero around right as you cast it, and so you still have to suffer through that turning animation. So that was actually pretty quick. I'm impressed. Is now what the? Oh man, he's dead.
I'm impressed, and he's dead. Okay, he's trying to make some
crit?
plays with a shard again, but snowball.
Oh, she's like, let me crit you. Let me crit you. Oh man, is he
Actually
dead though?
escaping. Until he's not
Boundless.
escaping. Until he is escaping again. And then he's not escaping.
Oh,
the nightmare.
Oh, he's saving
awkward,
the
awkward.
nightmare.
Alright. But plenty of time, I guess, for farm to happen on other heroes. We'll look at it that way.
It's true. G hit level 25. He's got that 500 distance auto remnant. Which is actually kind of weird. I'm surprised he didn't go for Overload Pierce's spell immunity, seeing as how there's a BKB on SF and Monkey King.
Touche.
That's actually extremely weird to me. I think he's hoping to do one of those be in the fountain and then shoot yourself out of the fountain and completely eliminate a creep wave that's pushing.
Yeah, when you're this far behind, those tools to prevent them from breaking into the base too effectively is understandable. Perhaps the logic he's using there. Monkey King, he did go the armor. Didn't really look at that yet, but did go the
Yeah, against the
armor.
Gyrocopter, I think it's the right call.
Yeah.
Because like these fights are so at this stage, the only fight that you care about taking is at the enemy high ground, and there isn't really that huge of a radius that you need to walk around in. You just need the area behind the tier 3, and that's pretty much it. So might as well just make sure that you're not taking any damage from flat cannon and stuff.
I just love seeing this on the mini map. Here we go. We're gonna follow it. Ah, boom, 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 boom. Lovely down there.
Excellent.
Fun talent. All right, level 25 for gyrocopter, almost there too. So again, the 3 homing missile charges, pretty much unexpected there. How did Bane level up? 100 enfeebled damage reduction. Got the experience over the damage steal, of course. And
Yeah, that actually sucks for gyrocopter. Like I was saying in that either this series or the previous series, Enfeeble's crazy against Medusa because it reduces all the split shot, and same thing with gyrocopter, it reduces all the flat cannons.
I really wonder if he's going to get a 25. I mean, 7+ second Fiend script duration is absurd.
Yeah.
Granted, are you really going to be able to get this? Is that even necessary? But
No. Yeah, between the first 5 seconds, if you don't get a kill in the first 5 seconds,
Yeah.
then something has gone wrong.
yeah, it's one of those. It sounds like, oh my god, that's good. Then you think of it like, no.
7 seconds!
Oh no. Yeah, no, the brain sap damage, especially being the pure damage, pretty good. Pretty good to have. Storm, he's gonna do the TP trick as he flies across the map. That's a clever little trick right there. Also clearing out some creep waves.
That's a good angle, yeah.
It's fun to watch, right? I saw your camera following it.
Yeah.
Ooh, Bane has a refresher shard, by the way. We didn't even mention that.
Orchid on the mid lane. Nightmare save, Cold Embrace. Oh, cheese, that also works.
Nom nom. One of the 2 cheeses. Other one's on cooldown now. Now the Ryu, he's in trouble. Sigil will slow them. That's another snowball in 6 seconds. Fiend's grip will prevent any chance of escaping. So Tusk is dead. He does have a buyback, dead for 50 more seconds plus. Nullifier picked up by Monkey King.
Oh, nice. I like that.
It's the second time we get to see Nullifier today.
Storm Spirit doesn't have a BKB, otherwise I would think that would be the best option. But it's a good preemptive pickup. Like, there's nothing really worth nullifying right now because Storm's Lincolns will block it, so it doesn't mute the Lincolns before it procs it. As now, man, he's just going crazy. Ush almost actually dies to that.
Yeah, that is annoying. That's for sure.
That's actually pretty good. He like doubled them up because he went back down the same way, so it's 2 remnants
Radiant's bottom
in the
tower
same
is under
position, but
attack.
nope. Yeah, it's working.
I'm guessing there's the
Now
Wukong
here's
zone.
100 armor.
The zoning
145 armor on this Monkey King.
Yeah, you're not touching it. He's good. Oh, Storm wants to try to delay it, pulls him in. Ush, ush, ush. He's just right-clicking down the gyrocopter. Gyrocopter has a Guardian Angel. Refresher, by the way, on Omni Knight, so has a second one to come into play. They do catch Monkey King as Wukong wears off. He pops the BKP, goes for the balance strike, trying to run. One more auto attack is going to be enough. The Winter's Curse coming out a fraction of a second too late. It will get the kill on Tusk, however. Well played by the Wyvern there, but G is now in pursuit. He wants more out of this. Requiem is so ready, I believe. Turning around with the right clicks. G is dropping those auto attacks. There's that second Guardian Angel. As mentioned, though, Aegis is going to be pop on Shadow Fiend. Splinter Blast coming out. He does not have a BKB. You're right. He does have the Requiem, but yeah, he can't get it off because he's cheap now. He's going to be shackled on top of that. And you look at the spread damage with the flat cannon and everything else. Cold Embrace saving him for the time being. I don't think he's getting out of this, so he pops the BKB now. The Hurricane Pike away. It's not going to be enough. He will explode. And Vega Squadron does win the fight at the bottom lane. What a hold by them.
That was questionable execution from HFZ. They basically hung that Monkey King out to dry. So Monkey King was zoning out half of Vega Squadron while HFZ was trying to pound damage into this gyrocopter. The thing is that SF didn't seem willing to blow his Aegis, so he got kind of low and he was just like, you know, let's just reset. But Monkey King, his Wukong command was timing out at the same time, so he can't get out. Monkey King goes down, and then after that, you have no real, like, source of you can't stand to fight anymore because SF decided to use his BKB on the first life to try to kill Gyrocopter, and it didn't work. So SF's indecision really cost them heavily in that fight. They have buybacks on everyone, and one of them, I think SF may have to buy back.
Dire's bottom tower
Bane
is under
does.
attack.
Elder Titan's up in a second.
Dire's structures
They're
are
going to lose tier
fortified.
3. It's just a matter of will they lose more. Monkey King's up in 6. Yeah, they're in that really tough spot. It's like, I don't want to buy back, but yeah, Shadow Fiend does. Is it too late, though? I mean, they already lost the melee
Dire's
racks.
bottom barracks has fallen.
Oh,
That's gonna
so
be a
close to
retreat.
grabbing the ban. I mean, the Storm Spirit up top, but G gets out just barely.
Curse. Ooh, he actually almost still got him, but Wyvern unable to catch up to him. So yeah, meanwhile, Storm Spirit was pushing that top lane, distracting, and man, Vega Squadron, it's now, things have swayed. I mean, I'm starting to feel like Vega Squadron's the one that has the advantage all of a sudden, despite how this game has been playing out so far. This is, I guess, going to be one of those, you don't know. It's just, it could go either way still.
Yeah, especially because we haven't really seen Storm Spirit at full power yet at all. G has never really had an opportunity to play Storm Spirit this entire game. All he's been doing is pushing out the waves, which was working out very effectively, but you haven't really seen his power too much in team fights. But if he's able to get this Orchid off, especially now that BKBs are dwindling down for HFZ, Monkey Kings is down to 5 seconds, SFs is down to 5 seconds, all of a sudden Storm Spirit starts looking more effective.
They're going for Storm. Top lane. He did get the Fiend Script duration, by the way. That's 12 seconds.
Man.
There's no chance.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't needed there, to be fair.
No, it was not.
It was not needed, but that was a
Which
curse
is, I
opening.
think, what our original takeaway was, but yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a big kill, though, of course. It's dropped.
I wonder what happened to that refresher shard that he had.
I
don't
point.
I don't remember it coming to any use, but I mean, I'm sure he used it somewhere. But
Yeah, it might have been for like a double sleep, if anything, or I don't even know if that works.
I don't
Actually,
know.
that doesn't even work, does it? And you sleep somebody else, would the other one come off? I don't even know.
yeah, you don't get your spell back.
Well, no more refresher shard currently. Roshan still has a way. Yeah, 220 before he could even respawn. Satanic finished on Shadow Fiend, actually. And he has
That's
a Daedalus in his
not
backpack.
that great, actually, because Spirit Vessel's already been completed on Tusk.
For a while.
I mean, I guess you can use it, but the thing is that, like, whenever you Satanics, usually whenever your BKB is down, and so, yeah, that Spirit Vessel may come to bite him.
Yeah, I remember seeing that refresher going into that bottom fight and thinking, like, this could be a big deal for the Omnat, and it definitely paid
Yeah.
off that way. I would love to see him refresher right now for another hand of Midas, by the way. That'd be awesome. Value. No, he's not going to do that, but yeah, double GA. Pretty good there. Although granted, Nullifier, obviously on the target that Monkey King's on would ideally remove it, but as we saw in the last fight, he's the one that was playing very defensive really from the beginning and died early on, so couldn't
Yeah, it's true.
that off.
Something I didn't consider, but yeah, being able to nullify off the GA is going to be very important. Especially if it's on the Storm Spirit or the Gyrocopter. That's going to be #1 target.
And Omni did get the 3-second repel duration as well, worth pointing out. So it's a 10-second duration now at that maxed out repel.
Over here now.
That is pretty good. Other 25s, we mentioned Bane. I think we've gone over all of them actually currently. Elder Titan's getting there.
Dire are scanning.
See what he decides. So he had 100% lifesteal's fun, but I would assume the -75 Earth Splitter cooldown.
Yeah, 25-second Earth Splitter, hell yeah.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
This is not a battle Elder Titan here. This is I do spells.
Dire's top shrine
25 second,
has
that's
fallen.
pretty ridiculous. He has a scythe queued up himself, so entering that point
Yeah,
of the
him.
game. All these luxury items.
Bounty.
And Storm Spirit has never bought a BKB, and he's not looking for it, but I would think that a 10-second BKB could be huge for G right now.
No.
Oh man, he finds Monkey King? Oh man!
Oh wait, gets the BKB out
Is
of
he
it.
not just gonna
Wukong's.
TP out? Oh, he doesn't have a TP.
He has to run. He might want to get those
man.
those bots, and they're just going to chase him
Oh,
down, aren't
man.
they? Not going to save him. Winter Wyvern tried with a Cold Embrace, but too much magic damage, especially.
And no curse. If he was able to curse the toss, like, you can't curse the Storm Spirit because he has the Lincolns, but if you're able to curse the toss, then Storm Spirit gets caught inside of it anyway. But instead, Tusk is
Yeah.
just gonna get out.
Yeah, they seemed really out of sync there. The curse, and then running away, and then Shadow Fiend's porting in. You could tell they were pretty panicked. Not exactly sure what to do, but ultimately they do lose the Monkey King though. If you're the Star side, however, when is Roshan respawn? Minute 30, so
Minute and a
he'll be
half.
back up. So good, lucky for them, it's not a very quick Roshan respawn.
Yeah.
Zap.
Or that's where it could get dangerous. But unless they start attacking tier 3 here, then I think you're all right if you're HFC. Just try to wait out the resurrection at this point. Got 40 more seconds before he's good, but Vega Squadron pick it up on that. They might as well try to at least force the buyback.
Oh, they're going.
Taro, he's already dropping.
He's taking damage.
Those are powerful right clicks from the Shadow Fiend. He actually has his boots now in his backpack, and yeah, he's gonna fight his base, might as well.
Yeah, he's capping out. Once he gets a moon shard, then that's pretty much it.
So Monkey King up in about 10 seconds. So yeah, overall not too bad, although G picks up a double damage. See if he can make any plays with that now. As he also has a Bloodthorn finish, by the way. On top of that, Shiva's.
Yeah, it's going to help against this freaking Earth Spirit who has, what, 20% evasion from the Solar Crest and then 25% evasion from the Heaven's Halberd. This dude is so difficult to get right clicks on.
Yeah, Graph doesn't really tell us too much, honestly, in this game. It goes back to it's very, very close one. Could be anyone's. I guess outside of HFZ had a decent lead, but Vega Squadron hanging in there. In time to get to the late game themselves. You see,
oh, Storm Spirit.
I feel like this level 25 talent is really where things started to turn, to be fair. Like,
it's true.
It's just, I don't know if it's just the annoyance factor or the idea that he's kind of almost split pushing with it or what, but that's where it seemed like the game kind of shifted a little bit.
Yeah, it's so difficult to be able to just get your creeps inside of the base. The split pushing is obviously huge, but once you finally approach a tier 3 as well, it's like there's such a small window, especially because no one has got pipe as now G basically forces a BKB.
Yep. You can't blame Shadow Fiend for doing that there, but it's like that's
no, yeah, and even HFZ were prepared. They almost got the balanced strike off, but just wasn't quick enough. You basically have to predict the position that Storm Spirit's going to end up on.
So he gets back. He's got full mana now. Going to port.
Oh, he has BOT2s. He's going on to his teammate. They're going to go on. He's going.
Oh, slippery, slippery. He
No
gets
BKB.
away. BKB. He wants to fight this now.
He has
Needs grip.
balance.
They lock down the Tusk. They're at least going to get Tusk. Do they want to fight more into this? It looks like the raiding team does. Oh, the
Oh my
balance
God,
strike
what a
hits it down
balance.
to Tusk. Guardian Angel comes off shortly after. That's the first one. Remember, Shadow Shaman. The Winter's Curse on him. He'll be fine though. Requiem of Souls exploding from Shadow Shaman, but now he needs to run.
Okay,
As
he's
going to be
repelled.
locked down by Slayer with the shackles. There's the second Guardian Angel. Shadow Fiend survives, so at the cold embrace though. Going to be fine for now. The sleep coming out for the other Titan. Stunning G, but it's not enough. Shadow Fiend will eventually fall. He is dead 100 seconds. No buyback. They also lose the other Titan, who does have a buyback, but without Shadow Fiend. Okay, he just got it. He just got enough. Oof.
I'm over here.
That
Man,
was
even
2
even
GAs.
more than the double GA, it was freaking 20 seconds of magic immunity on this gyrocopter because that repel talent refreshed means that there was nothing that Monkey King can do. He wanted to nullify the gyrocopter so bad to take off that GA, but he can't cast it on a spell immune target, so he just had to watch gyrocopter run roughshod on his entire team. Obviously, Monkey King didn't have any troubles because he has 100 armor inside of his Wukong's command circle, but he couldn't do anything to stop this gyrocopter.
And now Omni has the refresher shard as a result of this too. So he's got a shard.
30
refresher
seconds of
orb,
potential spell immunity.
and he just got the Octarine Core on top of all of that.
Oh
so
my
his
god.
cooldown reduction is pretty ridiculous now. So yeah, this Omni Knight, he's doing work. Blizzy definitely deserves a shout out for the side of Vega Squadron. Winter Wyvern does have a refresher orb himself. We'll see how that may come into play. But yeah, I mean, it's the tempo of these fights ever since that double GA bottom lane as well. You can tell that the dire scene almost feels a little bit lost. You talk about the repel, it goes
Dire's
up, and
middle tower is under
can they
attack.
really do against that? I mean, right clicks from Shadow Fiend are still nice. However, he's currently dead, of course. Still waiting to come back up.
It's so fast. You can get so greedy with these right clicks on the tower because you can just zoom out and get another repel, and it's all good.
Dire's structures are
Come
fortified.
Shadow Fiend, they also keep the tier 3 barely alive with the fortification, but in the end, they will hold off a push from Vega Squadron. Buyback situation, nobody's currently on a timer. Several are lacking due to gold, but overall, both sides still looking very good there. Yeah. Gonna pay attention to that more and more as this game progresses near the hour mark at this time. As an Arcane Rune is now purchased by Storm Spirit. Or not purchased, picked up.
I wish you could purchase Arcane
runes.
Runes.
Wouldn't that be fun? It gets like
That's
60
actually an
minutes into the
interesting
game.
idea. Yeah, it's like I'll take 2k gold for a double damage rune. It's an interesting idea.
I just thought of something
Dire's
without even
bottom
meaning
shrine
to.
is under attack.
Hire me, Valve. 7,000 gold on Monkey King. What does he buy though?
He's thinking, do I need the rapier? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, is it that? Oh, that's
Oh well,
fun.
Gyrocopter's thinking that too.
Apparently Gyro is. All right. I mean, he's got a lot of protection. He has the Aegis now. I
If
can
you don't
see
pick
it.
this Omni, there's no way that HFZ can win these fights.
Yeah. What is? Oh, he's
No, he's just casting.
canceling. Good old Requiem. I thought he was actually casting in his face. Like, what's going on? Storm keeping the bottom lane pushed in. So, you got the Radiant team making the way mid. Are they going to jump? A homing missiles channel. Tuska's nearby. Omni Knight as well.
Oh, the charges!
Too deep. G goes in, flies in. Shadow Fiend already dropping. Cold Embrace. Trying to heal him up, saving him a little bit. Wukong's.
Holy crap! If they get this rapier,
That would be big. And they get the
going straight for
Elder
Omni
Titan
Knight.
going after the Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter's getting low. He does have the Guardian Angel up. The raises the Requiem. No, going to be stopped by Slayer. Actually, the back lines. In comes the Witch's Curse. Omni Knight's going to die to it as a result. And Elder Titan still pursuing. The Earth Splitter's going to miss right there. He'll fall back with the rest of his team. But they got Elder Titan, or they got Omni Knight, excuse me, as well as the Rasta. Man, they could not kill Gyrocopter though. He had an Aegis, but if they could kill him and then set up on him, I mean, they could definitely have taken that rapier.
yeah, Mariachi had the right idea. He was going guns blazing towards the Omni Knight. It's just the problem is that Omni Knight's super fast, and he's got this degen aura also, so Monkey King had to get so massively out of position to stop him. And eventually, Omni Knight did have to use Repel on himself, and that's part of the reason why Gyrocopter got so low. And if they were able to get that rapier, oh, there we go. There's the rapier. So okay, let's go.
Let's go, baby. 3 rapiers, 1 a game. What happens? You got the Sigil that's going to fall right here from Tusk. But yeah, we got Monkey King and Shadow Fiend also picking up a rapier. Now, this means Shadow Fiend, though, he puts the AC in his backpack.
Dude, Shadow Fiend is so heavy. You can see him like walking around. He's like these arms. They deal
Sluggish.
so much damage. It takes me so much energy to carry them.
Drag them into the ground every now and then. Oh,
All right,
boy.
let's go. It's death push time. Too bad Omni Knight has a refresher shard, so he still has the potential for double GA, but it's
Oh,
game
you're right.
time.
Right, we'll see if they pick up on that. They're going for tier 4. They just want to try to finish this game right here, right now. Fortification. Gonna be pop. Meanwhile, the middle lane. You look at G. He's trying to get the mega creeps for his team. So this is an interesting race of sorts. Omni Knight, he's got to be fine back, right? I mean, I 15 more seconds, but no, he's not going in for the time
Oh,
being.
no.
Call it out. Going out. Back over here, G. He's going to finish off the mega creeps. Now back to the Radiant base. Hex up on a Shadow Fiend. Gets 4 tapped out. The Wukong's command throwing down. Fiend's going to block it down the Gyrocopter. That's going to be an Angel. Oh
my
Angel's
God, they
off.
nullified him.
The Guardian Angel as well. Used right before. Can they kill him again? Elder Titan with a stop right on top. We'll put him to sleep. Puts the repel up. The right clicks. There's a second Guardian Angel though. And now Shadow Fiend's going to die. His Divine Rapier on the ground. And he does not have a buyback. That could be the beginning of the end in favor of Vega Squadron. And it looks like it's going to be. We're going to a game number 3. 62-minute victory for Vega Squadron.
Triple rapier. What more could I ask for? Unfortunately, Wyvern was so close to being able to stop Storm Spirit from getting back. He used Splinter Blast to take off the Lincolns from the Storm Spirit and then went for the Curse, but the problem is the Splinter Blast projectile was too slow, so the Curse ended up popping his Lincolns and the projectile from the Splinter Blast connected, but could have gone any way at the very end, but Vega Squadron just narrowly come out on top.
Crazy, crazy finish. Game that had 3 rapiers once again when it's all said and done, but ultimately Vega Squadron, man. I got to take a look at the net worth graph once again, and yeah, I mean, HFN, they got to be feeling a little bit, or HFZ, excuse me, got to be feeling a little bit unfortunate as far as how things went that game. They had a 10,000 net worth lead or so, but that bottom lane, they tried to push in. The double GA came out, caught them off guard perhaps, and before you know it, again, Vega Squadron starts making plays. So well played from them, and that means we got another game number 3 in what will be our final game now coming up. The winner moves on to the semifinals to play Empire tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but a couple days from now. Loser will be done here in the single elimination format. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami Guys. Stay tuned. Game number 3 coming up next.